Hi and welcome to the hotel review for the Beverly Playa Vibra in Pagurea in Mallorca. I'm just starting off with this little shot because I saw it when I was starting to do it and I thought it would be quite a nice start to our hotel review. Okay, so this is in the main car park area of the hotel, with the entrance immediately in front, so we'll carry on. Some of these, what you're seeing, will be shot at different times, and that is purely and simply just down to when I can do this, with obviously people about, comings and goings, stuff like that. So I think you'll see it when it's all cut together. Hopefully it will work. So on the right hand side we've got the vending machines there. On the left hand side we've got reception. Morning! Nice and spacious area. Now I can't obviously show you some of this open. You've got a normal sort of snack bar sort of situation there normally, and then you've got the bar, the pool, one of the pool bars here, seating area. Then come out into the sort of one of the main areas. Now the pool in front is not open at the moment. I'm not quite sure when this is sort of one of their main areas why it isn't open yet. It doesn't make sense to me really when the other two pools that I'll show you in due course are. But I'm sure they've got their reasons for it. But as you can see, there is an abundance of sunbeds, and I know we've not had brilliant weather every day we've been here, but when we have had the sun, we've never had a problem getting a sunbed at all, not once. No fighting, nothing. No people coming out leaving towels out. Whether that's different, whether that's different in the summer, I've no idea. Found this area last night, got a beer pump here, so there's obviously someone in the summer probably out here. But yeah, found this little area last night when we were having a walk around, and I like to sort of do a bit of a walk around obviously before I put it all on camera, so hopefully I can show you guys everything. But we got to this point last night. I mean, it was lovely last night at 17 degrees, but you can imagine when it's 30, 25, 30, 35, whatever it gets up to, how lovely it is from up here. And we'll be down there in a minute, but that's where the other pools are. But yeah, just show you sort of up here first. So yeah, loads of seating area up here. Again, I can't vouch for what it's going to be like in the summer. I would imagine, I think we all know the answer, it's going to be pretty busy. With sort of nice sort of situations like this. But I'm just showing it to you, telling you it's here and what have you. But as you can see, looking back now, as I say, massive area with loads and loads of sunbeds. As I say, we've not had a problem at all with anything sunbed wise when we've needed it. Okay, so we go down these steps now. So you've obviously got here the kiddie pool. Again, I don't think we've had the weather warm enough to be using the pools properly. There probably has been some people going in, but obviously that is the kiddie pool. This is another pool here, again with an abundance of sunbeds around it. Little jacuzzi there, again not in use at the moment. Table tennis table there. You have to go to reception to hire the bats and balls because people don't bring them back. Toilets down there. Now unfortunately I'm not going to be able to get in here at the minute. Now I'm hoping to be able to cut this in later, but in there is the pool bar, and then that sort of goes around into the sports bar, but I'm hoping to be able to cut this in later on, so hopefully you'll see it. But if you don't, say you've just got another bar in there, and then there's sports bars around the other side with some more comfortable chairs, a pool table and some sort of amusement arcades. That's the entrance and exit over there, and again this will be some sort of bar, I'd imagine, in the summer as well. Not been open whilst we've been here, and we get it, you know, this is the first sort of proper week of the season, so things aren't going to be fully open. There is a little mini golf course here. Now I'm not sure I'm going to be doing it real justice showing it to you at the minute, because they've actually said they're going to be cleaning it up, but this is the mini golf course they've got here, and yeah, it does need a little bit of TLC, to be fair. And then there are tennis courts again over the back there as well, just for your reference. So really guys, the only thing I haven't been able to show you this morning at this stage is the sports bar, which is sort of in there, which I told you about. There's another one of the bars. That is a pay bar though. The all-inclusive does not work on that bar, I'll warn you now. And then you've got some comfortable chairs and then some other chairs over the back. In front is the breakfast hall. I'll take you in there in a bit. This revolving door is a bit of a pain in the backside, so I would recommend using this door. Pull towards you, and then you're back in from outside into this main area, which again you would have seen on a different cut. Just a slightly different view of the two swimming pools from above in this little video, and then going into this one. This is the sort of indoor swimming pool, gym and sauna, so I'm going to show you those in just a moment. So this is the sauna. Again, this is first thing in the morning, so it wasn't on, clearly nobody in there, but again you get a taste of what that is. And then you've got the gym, fairly small, fairly basic, but you're on holiday, so are you really going to be using it? But there's enough in there, you know, to have a, you know, little workout, whatever you want to do. So yeah, as I say, it serves its purpose. And then in this next little shot, we have got the indoor swimming pool, which you'll see in a minute. Now, one of our gripes with this is it says it's heated. Now, it certainly wasn't heated when we went in there, but you'll see in a moment there were quite a few people in there, so whether that has changed now or whether they're just hardy souls, I don't know. But let me tell you, that pool was absolutely freezing when we went in there. So there wasn't much going on in the disco, but we just thought we'd take you in there just so you could see what the arena was like. Got a bar here on the left hand side, sort of a dance floor, tables and chairs on the outside there, and then got a sort of a staging area sort of on the left hand side there as well, so just gives you an idea. So I've just done this little cut in as well. This is on -1, which is basically where you come from the 4 banks of lifts. That door there is into the reception, which you'll see later, and then that door directly in front, I'll go on to that in a minute. These are the times for the breakfast, lunch and dinner. That door directly in front is into the sports bar. Got a few sort of old ships and stuff like that there, just some ornaments. That's the sports bar. That takes you towards where the pool table is in front. So this is the sports bar inside, and as I say, I showed you that from the outside, but you can now see it from the inside. That's the pay bar in front. You get real glasses. if you use that bar and you pay for your drinks. Now, the reason I say about real glasses is because with the all-inclusive, ridiculously, you get plastic cups, whether you get a soft drink, wine, cocktail, beer, utter madness. But that's how it is. Can't do anything about it. It still goes down the same way, just doesn't feel the same. This takes you into the sort of sports bar. One of the things I will come on to at the end of this, but in that far corner there where the coffee machine is, there was a huge ant problem, so steer clear of that if you can. Okay, so this is taking you now into the restaurant. Obviously you have to check in, give them your room number,
Thank you.
and then sort of away you go. Now, Julia is doing a little bit of covert video and photography here, so well done to her, because I was really struggling with this, and she does very well, but you'll see in a minute sort of the general layout in a minute. But basically you find your way to a table. My advice is find yourself a table, get yourself some drinks, get them on the table, because then that sort of reserves it essentially for you. In front there you've got the Mr. Wicker sort of soft ice cream machine there. That's the cereal bar. This is desserts. And that sort of goes round along here and up to the left. It's similar on both sides, to be fair, so there's nothing different on one side or the other. It just shows you there. And then you've sort of got the different sort of foods. Obviously very difficult to show you everything, but gives you an idea. This is lunchtime, I believe it was. I think it was lunchtime, which is sort of the quietest time to sort of try and do this. You've got different sort of cuisines. Then you've got sort of the salad bar there. I think that was actually vegetables, different sort of cheeses there. There's a bar there on the left-hand side, I believe, Julia told me. And then you've got different breads here on the right. Again, difficult to show you everything there. Soup there, I believe. I don't think we ever had soup. And then, obviously, on the right-hand side here, this is the salad bar. With the sort of fresh salad. Julia made use of that, she enjoyed that. This is where they'll cook your sort of fried eggs, and sort of at lunchtime and dinner time, there's different meats that they grill and cook for you fresh. More sort of food there. So yeah, it gives you a bit of an idea of what to expect. Okay, so moving on to the bedroom tour. Now I'll say from the very outset, we were very disappointed in the size and the total lack of storage area and facility. You can see there on the left that we've got 2 suitcases on top of each other, and that's how we've basically had to live for the week. Little fridge here, room to sort of put some bottles in and what have you. There was a safe in there as well, you might have just picked up on that. That's the other suitcase. That's almost been like that the whole week we've been here as well. Nice big mirror, give them that. Plenty of electrical points, one on either side of the beds, so enough there. Chair and little buffet there. Out onto the balcony. Two chairs and a table. We've sat out there, I would say pretty much most days when the sun is on it. It's too cold of an evening to sit out there, and that was our sort of sea view. We paid for a side sea view, so that's what we got. No grumbles about that. And obviously just sort of panning round, showing you obviously the different views. So moving into the bathroom. If I'm honest with you guys, I think the bathroom was probably the best bit about the room. It almost looked like it was quite new in its appearance. It might not have been, but it certainly looked like a newer bit of the sort of hotel sort of outlook, as it were. So bath with a glass there, stand-up shower in the bath.
Fresh towels every day. Obviously everything standard. Toilet, your hand towels there, some big towels there. Hairdryer that Julia wasn't that impressed with at all. I think she said a gnat's breath would have been better than that hairdryer. So gives you an idea. Sort of soap dispensers, moisturiser, all that sort of stuff as well. So you had all that stuff sort of on tap for you as well. Now this is just a video of one of the issues that we'll be talking about in Pillow Talk at the end of this, but you can possibly see over my shoulder the lights flickering there, and in fact the final day we were here we had to get maintenance up because the lights completely cut out and shorted. So we'll talk more about it in Pillow Talk, but suffice to say there are a number of things to go through. Please do play Pillow Talk as well. Hi guys, and this is the final Pillow Talk of the series, and it's possibly the one you've been waiting for the most, the hotel review and holiday review. Okay, so I guess we'll start with the holiday hotel review first of all. Now, I'm going to say sort of from the outset, when we first got here, initial thoughts were I think it was okay.
It looked really nice.
Yeah, it looked really nice to start with. Um, you know, we got here reasonably early, so we couldn't get into our room straight away. So we sort of made use of the sort of little pool bar and sort of snack bar, didn't we?
We did.
And then didn't we go for lunch as well?
Yes.
We were pigs.
We had lunch.
Yeah, and then I think we just sort of went for a little stroll, didn't we, before we could get into room? But we were in our room by 2, weren't we?
It was 2 o'clock. We could check in.
Yeah.
So we were at the desk.
Now, by the time you see or listen to this bit of it, you'll have already seen the room review. So I think we can all accept that the room was far too small for 3 people. Just not enough sort of storage.
Not enough storage, not enough space. But from the point of getting the room, it was a disappointment because we walked in and there was no toilet roll. So I had to go and help myself to some from the maid's cart. There was no shampoo, so that bottle was empty again. I had to go and get a bottle off of the maid's cart myself, which was disappointing when you think it's a 4-star hotel and they're here to get the room ready for you.
I think sort of first impressions,
are always pretty key, aren't they? You know, in whatever job or whatever you're doing in life, sort of first impressions are key, aren't they? And you know, to have that as soon as we sort of came through the door was pretty frustrating.
I mean, don't get me wrong, all the room staff, all the room maids, everyone was really helpful. Whenever I've asked them for anything, they have gone above and beyond to get what I've asked for. But it was just disappointing it wasn't ready upon arrival.
Yeah, agreed. So that aside, I think the food has been pretty samey, hasn't it? There's although there is choice, it's the same choice, isn't it? I think that's the best way to describe it. You know, there's not a lot of variety.
It's not a huge buffet.
No, when you think, as Julie's just said, it's a 4-star hotel, I think it is pretty disappointing. Sort of the options you have. I mean, an example. You know, we went to a 4-star hotel in Turkey, didn't we? And there was far more sort of variety there, wasn't there?
Yeah.
You know, and you know the kids especially were far better catered for, which I don't think necessarily has been the case here, have they?
No, other than chips.
Other than chips and rice and pasta, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, there hasn't been a lot for them really. So that that is a bit of a disappointment.
What I will say though is the food has all been cooked really well. Some really nice salads as well available.
Yeah, no, you can't question not necessarily the quality, but the preparation. I think it's the best, isn't it? Because I think you always know, unfortunately, if you've eaten something that hasn't agreed with you. I think we all know what I'm saying, so we don't need to elaborate on that. I think we'll move on to the entertainment or lack of.
Yeah.
It's just almost non-existent, isn't it? I mean, I think one night there was bingo where you could hardly hear the bingo caller, could you?
No.
Another night there was Bublé, Michael Bublé, which again that doesn't interest us, but that's our preference, isn't it?
Well, tonight at 9 o'clock in the disco is the Spanish dancers.
Okay.
So
there is bits and pieces going on, but not a lot. And I think for the size of hotel, they could have a couple of options, couldn't they? Perhaps. Yeah. And I think that's again what we're getting at.
And possibly in peak season, they may well have.
Yeah, and this is what you got to bear in mind, guys. When we're talking about this is the first proper week of the season for them. However, should it be any different the first week of the season to the last week of the season? Only you guys can, decide that. Really, we know we've got our opinions, and we know we're entitled to them like you are. Slightly disappointing that the for a better phrase, main swimming pool.
The indoor pool.
Well, we can talk about that as well, but I was talking about the main outdoor one.
The freshwater pool.
Not in use, and that is sort of where primarily the sun is most of the day, and where, by definition, I've showed you in this vlog as well, that there is all the sunbeds around it, aren't they?
Yeah.
So they make that decision to make it their main area, and then they don't have the pool open.
No.
So slightly frustrating and confusing, but again,
it looked like it needed a really good clean.
It certainly did. It's bogey green. The indoor pool, again, you've seen that in the hotel review, but it was supposed to be heated, and I went in it on Monday.
Yeah.
And it was freezing. There was no heating involved.
Which was really disappointing because we would have made use of that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, especially a couple of days this week you've not been able to be outside, and it becomes a real pain. If you can't then use the facilities that you've paid for. So it is disappointing. There's no two ways about it. Is there anything else before we come on to any problems?
No, these lights.
these lights. You've seen it already before this. The lights flickering. We've had this pretty much since.
All week.
I don't think it was the first day we were here. Something has changed since maybe Monday or Tuesday, I think. But it's certainly been most of the week, and they kept on saying the same thing to us. Oh, you know, the electrician's looking into it. The electrician's looking into it. And then we had no lights this afternoon, so they sent one of the maintenance guys up, and he replaced the whole unit in one of the bulbs. And we've come back from a meal, and the whole place is flickering again like a Christmas tree. I mean,
It's calmed down now.
I joke about you know people having sort of epileptic fits, but if you did suffer from that, it would be quite detrimental, I think, wouldn't it? It was pretty bad at one point. Well, you've seen it on some of the videos prior to listening to this. So that is certainly something that they need to get sorted out. Apparently, it is only this floor.
Yeah, and there is a power problem, because you try the hairdryer, and the first day we were here, the hairdryer was absolutely fine, and then since then there's just hardly any power going to it.
Yeah,
it's really weak. I mean, my hand fan is more powerful than that hairdryer at the moment.
They've got a serious issue with ants here. Now, the first night we were here, I brought a drink up to the room. The room, if I'd have seen ants in here prior to going out, I'd have done something about it. But when I brought my drink back, went to have a drink of it later on in the evening, and there must have been 100 ants on it. So where they'd come from, I've no idea. Obviously in the walls. And then poor old James, he had a hot chocolate yesterday, and these ants must have actually been in the bottom of the cup when the hot chocolate was put in there, because all of a sudden, he's seeing ants floating in his hot chocolate. And then we've actually been down there and actually had a look around that station, and there's ants everywhere, isn't there? It's pretty terrible, to be honest with you.
All on the bar.
And they were all crawling on the bar. So yeah, it's pretty horrendous, really. And again, certainly something they need to get in hand. I mean, you'd think the staff would say something, more than anything else, because it isn't good, is it?
That is in the all-inclusive pool bar.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So if you look at the pool bar I mentioned, that wasn't open, but I managed to get in there later on in the vlog. The coffee and the hot sort of drink section. It's all around that area, isn't it?
Yeah, at the end of the bar.
So, yeah. We've mentioned the indoor pool, we've mentioned entertainment, we've mentioned the lights, we've mentioned the ants. Was there anything else? The entertainment, I think we said that, didn't we?
Mm-hmm. I don't think so.
So I think a drawing conclusion on the hotel, I don't think we can recommend it, can we? And that's just us. It's a difficult one because, as Julia said, the food has been prepared well, but it's...
I think if I were to come back in the future, I wouldn't go all-inclusive. I think I'd probably go bed and breakfast and then eat out, because, I mean, the breakfast was absolutely fine. Drinks and food in the resort aren't very expensive. There's loads of different options, and I think if I were to come back, I would just go bed and breakfast.
But I think, hand on heart, we wouldn't come back, would we?
No, I don't think I would.
There are certain places that we would go back to. We've done the UK sort of vlog sort of series on the Imperial Hotel in Great Yarmouth, and we've been back there many times, and we praise them to the hill, because you whenever you go there, you always get 110% attention, don't you? That's what you want. You're paying that bit more money.
I think that it's not really a real reflection on the staff, because all the staff here have been lovely, absolutely lovely. I mean, especially the bartenders, really, really lovely chaps.
And the guy, I don't know his name, but the guy when you go into the restaurant, I think he's sort of the head.
The host.
The host.
And the ladies in there as well.
Yeah.
Everyone's so lovely. Yeah. Everyone's always talking, saying hello. And it's such a shame they've had a few disappointments.
Yeah. And that's the thing, isn't it?
you know, both of us at different times, and me still, work in the public sector, and people are very quick to complain, but they're not very quick to praise. And I think it is important that you highlight the good points as well as the bad points, because unless they know about these things, they're never going to do anything about them, are
No.
they? And I think that's the important thing. You know, it's the same as, you know, my job. You know, if I don't know there's a problem, you can't fix it, and that's ultimately the point I'm making. This is not to criticise the staff, because it's not what it's about. It's not the staff at hotel level, is it, that are the necessarily the problem. It's people above them that need to know what's going on in their hotel. Agreed?
Yeah.
Management, I mean.
The management just need to get the silly problems fixed.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and I think the point is, finally on this, is it's a 4-star hotel and it's sold as that. Now, we've been to a 4-star hotel in the UK, in Turkey, in New York, and I can honestly say, New York you can't really compare because it wasn't all inclusive, but the room in Turkey, well, James had his separate room in Turkey, didn't he?
I think that's probably the biggest disappointment, is the size of the room. There isn't any space.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, that's the opinion. The holiday as a whole, I think we were all talking about it just before we've sort of come in and done this. We've all really enjoyed the holiday, and you sort of try and not let the negatives outweigh the positives, don't you? We've had a couple of sort of crap days weather. That's life. But you know, we've gone out and done stuff. We've explored. We went into Palma. We went to California, which is a fair old walk. We went to the market.
Yeah.
So you know, we've done lots of stuff, and it's just nice to be as a family, you know, doing stuff together. You know, when you're at home, life is very busy. You know, we both do full-time jobs. You know, so we only see each other sort of 2, 3, 4 hours a day properly, don't you? Really.
Yeah.
And half of that is eating and whatever else. So you know, it's nice as a family to be together, and I say the holiday as a whole, you know, we've all really enjoyed. So would definitely recommend coming to Mallorca. I mean, you know, Mallorca has treated us well, I think.
And Paguera is lovely.
Yeah.
If you just want somewhere quiet, just to relax, Paguera is lovely.
And that's the thing; it does have a reputation, as Julie was telling me sort of earlier on, as Little Germany, and I would say predominantly it is German.
A lot of
isn't
German
it? Yeah.
people. But there are also a lot of English families.
There are a lot of English families, and it doesn't bother us, does it? In fact, Julie gets to practice her German. So yeah, it's not a problem. And yeah, I wouldn't let it put you off. You know, if you want a busier place, go to Magaluf. But if you want a sort of bit of a calm, laid back ambience, Paguera is the place. All right, guys. Well, that concludes Pillow Talk for this one. So I hope some of the information has been beneficial and helped. I will finish the vlog off by a nice, calm sunset, and we'll leave it at that. Cheers, guys. Take care.